I told you that once before, huh?
Yeah, we talked about it, but I'd like to, I forget
Well,
bits and
you
pieces.
know, coming out to the homestead.
Yeah.
Didn't I? Didn't I tell you that?
Refresh my memory.
Well, I'll try to.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, good God.
9, 10, 11. Yes, I was 10 years old.
Where were you living?
Well, we were living in Pennsylvania, Titusville, Pennsylvania, when my dad decided to come out to this big prairie and homestead. And we went from there. And my mother had an aunt who lived in Moose Jaw.
Mm-hmm.
So when we emigrated, we went to Moose Jaw. We didn't come out to the prairie. We went to Moose Jaw. And on the way, this was really a strange thing because this is how our life started, from this trip. Because while we were coming, we knew that there was all this land to be taken up, you know. But my dad had no idea where the land was or where to go to get a homestead or anything about it.
Why was he coming? Why did he decide to come?
Because he lived in a little wee farm in Pennsylvania and scratched. You know, he was barely making a living. And
he was already farming there, though?
He was farming, but there were 7 of us. 7 kids,
oh.
7 children.
Oh,
And there was nothing on this little wee farm for 7 children. He was a butcher by trade, too.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, and a carpenter.
Oh,
And yes, he used to cut up beef and for neighbors, you know, in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
That started it. But then when he emigrated, and on the way, we decided, well, I had an aunt there in Moose Jaw, and she had been there and telling us all about, she and a cousin, telling my mother all about this wonderful land of opportunity, and my dad, and that's what started them going.
What year would that be?
1908.
Do you remember how you felt about it? Did you want to go?
Oh, I was only 10.
Oh.
To me, it was just one big blur, you know.
Yeah.
I had no thoughts.
Did your mother want to go?
Yes, she did want to go. But then, Edith was pregnant, or she was pregnant with Edith. And she was born after we got to Moose Jaw, we got there in March, and she was born in June.
How did you come to Moose Jaw?
As I said, I had an aunt.
How did you travel now?
By train.
Oh.
By train. These coaches, they called them, what kind of coaches did they call them? Well, for homesteaders, really. Special coaches. And on this train, we met these 2 men who were from our country. And my dad started talking to them. And they were a middle-aged couple. They were a young couple, you know. They were middle-aged people. And he told them, or they told him when he started to question them, what he wanted to do. They told him to come to this place, and he gave them the numbers of the land.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got to Moose Jaw, if he could get it by a team of horses or something and come drive from Moose Jaw to what was now Gravelburg. There wasn't any Gravelburg or anything there then.
No, that wouldn't even be the beginning of the town, would there?
No, just drive through the country and find this homestead.
Okay.
You see, each quarter was staked out. And on each quarter there was numbers that were driven in the ground with the numbers of your sections.
We used to find those occasionally when I was growing up.
That's right. You used to find those. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's how we got to Moose. That's how we got to the homestead. Well, my dad.
A lot of Americans came up at that time, or?
No, I don't think.
They're mainly coming from Europe around then, weren't they, or from eastern Canada?
No, well, you see, there was a German settlement south.
Yeah, that's the
You
sort
know.
of the Dockenbachens and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then there was our section. Well, no, we just happened to be there through this Ed Stevenson and Will Carter, who told us about this land.
Oh,
He
yeah.
told my dad. So anyway, we lived in Moose Jaw for 2 years. So my dad was a carpenter, and he made enough money so he could buy some horses and come and look this land over. And when he just
Didn't know you lived in Moose Jaw for 2 years.
yeah, we did. And so when Edith was 2 years old, well, my dad had been out the year before and looked this homestead over and filed on it. They had what they call a file on the homestead, give them your name, the number of the land that you wanted. And
insurance. Then it was his.
it was his. And you could get 1/4. You could also get what they called a preemption, which was another 120 acres.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave you a half section.
You
And
had to buy,
most everybody did.
you had to buy the second quarter.
You had to buy the second, but it was a very small sum. I don't know, something like $500 or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
The others was just 160 acres to start here for a quarter of land. Well, anyway, that's how we got to Moose Jaw. That's how we got to our present home.
Yeah. Had he built a house by the time you got there?
Oh yes, he had the spring we come out. The neighbors had helped him. He had brought the lumber from Morris.
Was that the house that was standing up until recently?
Yes, it was.
That was the
That
original
was
home.
our original home. Only it was just one shack at that time. That's all he could afford to build was one shack.
Oh, one room?
One room and kitchen dolls.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that's how we started anyway.
So that's where you grew up?
That's where I grew up.
Can you go on and tell them about when Grandpa used to work in Moose Jaw and your mother was home alone with the kids?
Well, that's what I was going to tell. But Dad then left Mother in Moose Jaw, and he drove out to look the land over and to try and start something growing, you know, so that we'd have something. And he also bought a cow and brought it too. And Mother was left in Moose Jaw with us 7 kids, and Edith's just a baby, just been 2 months old. And she had to go through all that all alone. And then the next year, not that fall, but the next spring, the mother and all us kids took the train from Moose Jaw to Morris.
Morris was there by then?
Morris, oh yes, Morris was on the main line.
Oh,
It was
sure.
there.
Yeah.
Yes, it was there for years. But anyway, we took the train to Morris. And Ed Stevenson and Will Carter and Dad too was there. And they met us. And there was enough snow left. This was in March. There was enough snow left so that we got through to with horses and sleigh. And we stopped at stopping horses on the way. Like we had made it in 2 days. Like we drove the first day, and then stopped. They had stopping horses at Hodgeville, or Throwing Well. Really, it was this side, just the other side of Hodgeville.
Yeah, I think that's the little town.
Yeah, we stopped at the Throwing Well for the first night.
You stayed at people's homes?
There's what they call stopping houses. For people who were on the way looking for homesteads to find their land, and which they did. We stayed over there all night. The next day we drove through to this Ed Stevenson's place where we had been, and so the house wasn't quite ready.
Oh.
So we stopped at Ed Stevenson's bachelor's place for about 3 or 4 days, so Dad got Grandpa got enough of a crew on to complete the house so we could move into the house.
You had all your possessions on the sleigh all this time, I suppose, eh?
Yeah, well, we didn't have much possessions to put on the sleigh. That's for sure. I suppose we had beds. I was too young to remember all the details of that trip, you know.
Were there many other people living around there?
My mother was the first woman in that country. That first year. The next year, a lot of people, Gleebs and a lot of people came in around. But that first year, she was there alone with all of us kids. And my dad brought her there. And then he left and went back to Moose Jaw to work and make more money. So he could...
Didn't even break the land that first year, eh?
He had to break so many...
Oh, to keep the homestead.
To keep the homestead. Yeah. I think it was 60, no, it wasn't 60 acres. I think it was maybe like 30 acres. I can't remember the details of how much.
Yeah.
But it's so much land it had to be broken the first year to claim his homestead.
Yeah.
And that's the way it went. But my mother had to, I must, thinking back now, you know, in the later years, I thought it must have been hell for her. You know, there alone with 7 little kids.
No phones.
And no phones, no neighbors, no nothing.
Would have been frightening for her?
Pardon?
Would have been frightening for her?
It would be. And not only that, but in that prairie, a prairie fire could start up with a bit of lightning or anything else. And it could sweep through the country. Everybody had a fire guard around their land, around their building. Because you never know when a prairie fire would start. In fact,
all prairie grass then?
Yeah, it was all prairie grass.
Yeah.
And there was lots of buffalo bones left from years ago. Yeah. It was really wild open prairie.
What did you have for food?
Well, that was it. The first year, before my dad come home, I think we were subsiding on. We had the cow. We had milk. And I guess we had a few, I don't know, can't remember whether we had any hens or not at that time.
You never had your spoke.
Pardon?
You never spoke of hens.
No, I don't think we did. I was too young to remember, but I'm sure we didn't have any hens at that time. But my mother used to make porridge. I hate porridge. I couldn't get a dish of porridge to this day. Because it came to the state where all the... we grew a lot. There was lots of wild mushrooms.
Oh.
And my mother, we used to get them by the tubful.
Is that right?
On the prairie, it's just full of mushrooms. And she used to make a mushroom stew, and porridge. That's about all we had to live on.
She couldn't phone him to bring anything. No.
Oh no!
She had to wait till he showed up.
She just had to wait till he showed up. And by the time he showed up, well, grub was pretty darn short.
Yeah.
But
How long was he
anyway,
away that first year? Like, did he stay away over the winter or just over the summer?
just over the summer.
Oh.
And he come home, on in July, I suppose.
Were there Indians around there?
Oh no! It was settled by then. There's no Indians or any sign of Indians at all. And well, that was the start of our homesteading adventure.
Was there any settlement abatement by then?
Oh no, there wasn't any abatement. There wasn't any railway. The railway did go as far as Gravelburg, but there was no town there or anything in that early days.
So they used to take the wheat all the way up from Moss, too.
Yes, we had when Dad grew his first wheat, he had to haul it to Morris, and so did Grandpa.
No, it's still a 2-day trip?
Yes, so 2-day trip. Grandpa farmed with oxen, mind you, the first 2 years. Yes, he did. And there was his first land that he put in. Grandpa was only 18 when he homesteaded.
That's your grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
He had a sod shack, didn't he?
Yes,
Sod house?
he did it. No, he never did have a sod shack.
Oh, I thought he did.
No, he built a little shack
Oh?
of lumber.
But he came on his own. He didn't come with his family then.
Grandpa.
Yes.
No, he came on his own. Well, he had 2 brothers at Winthorst, that's eastern Saskatchewan. And they had he'd heard from them, or from other people, about this land up here too, and that's why he decided to come up here to homestead too. And
Prince Edward Island.
yes, he came. They came from Prince Edward Island, and he was just 18 when they left. He was just finished high school.
So how old were you when you met him?
13.
Oh.
And
So did they have? Was there a school then? Did they
oh goodness, no! And you know it went on for years. Oh, I never felt so awful. You know, because it was about 2 years before there was a school built, and in the meantime we had no school at all, nothing. And in the 2 years when I was going to school in Moose Jaw, we changed schools, and you know it was all new to us and strange, you know. And I don't think I learned one thing till we got there. And anyway, I did pass my grade 8.
Where did you go to school?
Well, we didn't. Rowan was built then.
Well, that was built
The
2
school.
years after you got there.
Yeah. Oh, 4 years. About 4 years after we got there.
That's the one that used to be just outside your trees?
Yes. And that's where I started the school. That's where Cora started the school. That's where all of us kids started the school.
What did you do for fun?
Oh, we had lots of fun. Really. You know, we'd get together and play.
Well, the year that your father was still in Moose Jaw, you wouldn't be aware of there being that much wrong.
I wouldn't, because I was too young.
Yeah.
See, I was only 10 years old. Thinking back,
you didn't realize.
I didn't realize that. When we homesteaded, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how my mother was going through along with us bunch of kids, and nobody to look after us.
Yeah, well, where would the nearest people be that year? The nearest next homestead?
Well, there was bachelors. Tom Frank was a bachelor there.
Oh, and he was living there?
He was living there by that time. And Ed Stevenson, they were only 3 miles away.
Where would that be, up close to Britain's? Were they around that area?
No, near near the Nottacue Creek.
Oh, I see.
Well, Carter's would be where Ed Dole farmed.
That's right. Carter's was just where Ed Doe's
I see.
farm.
That was the Carter.
Yes, that
I
was the
see.
Carter
Oh.
place. And Ed Stevenson just lived a mile from that, or half a mile from Carter's.
I see.
But that's where our homesteading started from.
How did you happen to get married?
Well, one thing led to another. And
Did you grow together? Were you together for a long time?
well, I got married when I was 19. But Dad had been coming to see me, I think, for quite a while before that.
Is that right?
That would have been a lot of changes by then, though, in the country. They
Oh yes, by
were
then.
populated by then.
Oh, by then. The very next year, there was a woman like Mrs. Glebe, and a lot of women came in. Mrs. Rees and the country was settled the next year after that.
Yeah.
It was just that first year that Mother was alone.
Yeah.
The next year, all of those people come in, and every half section and had a farm. It wasn't like it is now, where it was just a farm here and there. Every half section had a farm.
Yeah.
So where did you live when you got married then?
Well, Dad had a little bachelor shack, and he had built a piece onto it, so it was quite a bit bigger. And then we pulled the granary up because he kept a hired man at that time, and made a kitchen out of the granary, and we lived in the little shack, our homestead shack.
Oh.
And the hired man lived in the granary. We had it insulated then and warm, so it was all right, And
Is this pretty close to where the house was built?
yes,
Same
you
yard?
see, the next spring, after that, we rebuilt the house.
Oh.
And then Ev was born in September, and the house was just completed just about a month less than a month before he was born.
So
But
you
it
were,
must have been a real luxury to finally have the house up.
Oh, yes.
Because it was, what, a 4-bedroom house?
Oh,
5-bedroom
yes.
altogether.
5 bedrooms cut in the downstairs. And
Yeah.
it was a big house.
were you warm enough in that small place? The shack?
Oh, yes, because, you know, we had a heater and oh, yes, we kept warm enough.
That year when there was just you kids and your mother, could you ever go out? Did she drive the horse and buggy?
No,
or
she didn't
there was no
drive
way to get out of
anything. There was no way of course. There was a picnic up in the St. Basil district. And Harold and Art, my 2 oldest brothers, they hitched the team onto the sleigh, onto the...
The oxen.
No, they didn't have... Dad had oxen, but my brothers didn't. Grandpa had bought a team of horses, and we drove up to St. Boswell to this picnic because there were so few people in the country.
Yeah. Even that'd be quite a drive. St. Basil, more than 6. Yeah.
12, yes, 6,
12
12.
miles,
Yes.
Horses, that'd be a long day.
It was a long day. I can remember that. Well, I'd be up to be about 14 or 15 by that time. It wasn't right in the first year or 2. Well, that was the early beginning.
When did people start planting trees? Like, there's all of the yards now have trees around them. Would you do that right away? Like,
Well, Dad planted his trees. He got the trees and built the year before we were married.
oh,
He put all those trees in.
Where
so
did
he
you get
did.
them?
Yeah.
From the government. The government would supply trees to anybody that asked for them.
That early they did.
Yes, they did.
Or did they have to go to? Did they have to go to Moose Jaw to get them?
No, they were sent out. You got them from the experimental farm at Indian Head.
It's that old.
That's right, and they were shipped out by train,
Oh,
and they picked them up. And you know, those trees just about all grew,
yeah.
and we had good. Well, you can see now what's left of them.
Yeah. So that would be, what, 6, 7 years before he planted them at all, eh?
In the early days.
Yeah.
Oh yes, they weren't planted till the year we built the house.
No. Wondered about
It
that.
was 1917.
Yeah.
Quite surprising that governments in those days thought of things like that.
Well, it was.
Yes, that surprised me too. Quite
Yeah.
though.
Yes.
Prairie sure must have looked different before that. Because now, even with the empty homesteads or the empty farms, there's trees dotting all over the place.
Yes,
To
but
look
you see,
around.
at that time there wasn't any. And my dad was one that never didn't believe in planting trees, and there wasn't any trees around the place. And it used to hurt my mother so. She wanted trees. She wanted trees. Anyway, Norman and Florence started to farm there after my dad quit, and Norman and Florence and somebody else started a bunch of trees there.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But my mother she wanted the trees. She wanted the trees so bad, and she never did get her trees.
Yeah.
Were the winters worse then? People say that.
Oh, they were worse. Oh, much worse. They were colder, and oh yes, and more blizzards. You know.
Yeah. Were you ever caught out in a blizzard, or
My dad was.
was he?
And I can still remember us when the blizzard that they had to string a rope from the house to the barn to feed the cattle. They were afraid to go out for fear. In fact, more than one. Well, I wouldn't say more than one, but some people did perish. They went out to look for the cattle and never came back.
Do you think that would be partly because there were no trees to screen it?
Well, I would think so, because it was all open prairie. You see, the wind just blew and there was nothing to stop it. And then the prairie fires, as I was telling you, because they started up.
Yeah. Did you ever fight a prairie fire?
Yes, I can still remember us fighting a prairie fire when it was coming. With wet bags and wet rags, if we could get some water. They're just playing them. Mr. and Mrs. Carey, that's where you live now. And she had the post office there. And
There's
he
a
was
post
away.
office there?
Yes, that's where the Rowan post office was, in that little house.
For heaven's sake.
And then it was a sod shack. It's too bad. I've got a picture of that sod shack if I can find it.
Really, too. We have one.
Yes, you have one.
Where the house is now?
No, it wasn't where the house is now,
It-
was it?
No, it was farther back from.
Along that road towards Reese's, was it?
No, it was just about less than a quarter of a mile from where the buildings were.
Straight east.
It was less than a quarter of a mile. It was just like the width of the trees, I guess.
Oh.
Maybe even less than that. It'd be in there wouldn't be any remains left of it now, but
When was the first time you saw Regina?
oh goodness,
Do you remember what it looked like when you saw it?
I can't remember. I was a lot older. I don't know when I saw Regina first.
It would have been pretty small, I guess.
Oh well, yes. We thought Moose Jaw was quite a big place then, because we came to Moose Jaw, and we wouldn't get out to Regina for years after that.
Was that after you married, you mean? You went out? Or?
We very, very seldom even went after we were married.
Did you not go to Prince Edward Island on your honeymoon?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
you did?
When after we were married, we left and went to my dad had a Model T Ford by then, and he loaned it to his brother in Windthorpe for the summer while we were away.
Went for the whole summer? Of course, that'd be quite a trip, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well,
Went
we
by
were
train.
away for 2 months and a half.
Really?
We left in May. That was when we were married.
Who
And
did the farming while you were gone?
Well, my dad had a hired man.
Oh, I see.
So you went and met all his relations.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of weird.
I bet they had an awful opinion of me.
He was very young to have a hired man that could run the farm while he was gone, wasn't
He was, yeah.
he? He was how much older than you?
9 years older
He
than
was
me.
9 years old.
Mhm.
Oh, he wasn't so much.
No, 8 years older. 8 years older than me. I was 19 when we were married, and he was 20.
So where were your children born?
Right on that house, in that house. Ed was born, as I said, I'd only been there about a month after the house was built when Ed was born.
And
I had just moved into that, and then Ed was born.
did they send a doctor?
Oh, we always had a doctor and a mid-nurse.
Or you had
Yeah.
How did you get a hold of them? There still wouldn't be phone system in yet, would there?
No, but they drove to... yes, we did have the phone by then. Yeah, oh sure, we had phones by
Already
then.
by then, eh?
Oh yes, we did. We phoned for the doctor. And this friend that was midwife, she was a trained nurse who was going through, and she was a particular friend of ours, too, when Ed was born. And Vernon.
So they were all born in that house?
Yes, all my family were born in that house. I never went to a hospital with any of my children.
Even by the time Lee and Lyle came along, eh?
Yeah,
No?
I was supposed to go to the hospital, but they came along early, and
No?
so
Did you know you were carrying twins?
I was sure I was. And the doctor at Woodside, he was a doctor from Bateman. He was definitely sure I wasn't. He said, "You're a crazy woman. What do you think you are at your age carrying twins?" And I said, "Well, I know very well that they have this because twins." And anyway, before he left for his holidays, and he said, "We'll all be back anyway before these boys or twins arrive." He knew then it was going to be
Finally
twins.
believed you.
Yeah, but he wasn't anyway.
Yeah.
But old Doc Susie was there.
Oh. Must have been strange your trip to PEI, because by then you would have been pretty well for 11 or
Here we have Claudette.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Or Terry.
This is my wife, Claudette, and this is my daughter, Lee.
We're going to maybe have to speak up a bit with the traffic.
And we're from Calgary. We haven't got much more to say because videos embarrass us. Thank you. Back to you, Trish.
Claudette, do you want to tell us something about yourself?
No, how can I follow that? No, we'll let him do it.
Okay. And Lise?
He's just embarrassed.
Happy to be here?
Shut her down.
Happy to be here?
We're happy to be here because we're about to eat.
Comes from Ottawa with the family reunion. This is our youngest, this is Christopher, and this is our middle, Shannon, and this is our oldest, Matthew.
Hello.
My wife, Tricia McDonald. She's been allowed to come to the Brown reunion, but she ain't one. And
And who are you?
Oh, I said that, didn't I?
No, what's your name?
Larry Brown. We covered that.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Okay.
For Don and Marlene and David Brown. We live in Edmonton now. We came down on Thursday, and we're having a real good time here today.
And how do you connect to the family?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm Walter and Mary's son. This is my wife Marlene and our son David.
You having a good time?
We're having a good
Wonderful
time.
Great.
And you've done a good job, Mr. Photographer.
Milani, and we came from Saskatoon to Rain.
Okay. Tell us about yourself, who you are, and
We're the Brown family.
which Brown family?
Reunion.
Which Browns are you?
Over the look of us, who we are. Welcome, Mary.
Learn how to drive.
Bruce. Shh. Tell us that
Mary
again.
Brown and Karen. Karen is our youngest daughter.
Walt and Mary and Karen.
Probably have the two boys on the record, Donald and Doug. Doug is the oldest son and Donald is the second son.
So how are you a Brown?
How am I a Brown? Because I'm one of the Brown family.
He is fourth in line.
Evan is the oldest, then Vernon, then Phyllis, and myself. And then 13 years later, the twins came out.
Ah.
So I was the baby for 13 years.
So how do you feel about being back for this reunion?
My nose is out of joint because I was a baby for 13 years, and all of a sudden they come along and spoil it. It's great.
I think it's
great.
great. You're having a good time?
Are you having a good time, Karen?
Yes.
Good.
Good. Okay. Tell us who you are.
I'm Everett Brown.
Okay.
And who's this gorgeous lady beside you?
This is my wife, Eileen.
And where do you fit into the brown picture?
I'm the oldest of 6 children in the Brown family, and retired farmer.
And I'm a war souvenir.
A war souvenir.
Is that it?
That's it. Well, how's it feel to have everybody home?
Oh, excellent. It's nice to have her.
You guys have done a lot of work.
It's been real good for you.
Okay.
Good time.
Okay, tell us who you are.
I'm Michael Mullaney. This is my wife Diane Runge Mullaney, as she calls herself. This is Jonathan Mullaney. And although he is a Mullaney, he has a brown nose, and brown ears, and brown eyes.
The Browns don't have noses.
Oh, that's true. The absence of a nose, so he's a brown.
They have the turned up noses.
And I'm the younger son of John and Verna, formerly Verna Brown.
Jonathan, can you show us your eyes? Can you say hi?
Say hi
Yeah,
to the
can you
camera.
say bye? Say thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, I'm on. I'm Bruce Coburn,
You're on.
Vancouver. Where was I? Oh, we were talking about the rain in the softball game today.
But who
We're
are
a
you, first
family
of all?
reunion.
Who do you belong to?
Oh, Phil and Frank, I do. Their youngest, the baby. We had a wonderful time in Vancouver. Had a wonderful time at the farm prior to the reunion. And it's going to be sorry to see everybody on their way soon.
Nice to be together.
Oh, is it ever?
Tell us about the baseball game.
We didn't have one. You told me that earlier. We got rained out.
Oh,
And we got
it
drenched.
never rains in Saskatchewan.
I know. It never has in August.
I'd like to extend a special thanks to my family and all the other families that came. And a special thanks to Laura and this crew coming all the way from San Jose. And I can't but say thanks, Lyle and Julie, for your kind hospitality last week in Renown. It's great for all the cousins to be united once in a while and to get to know each other. There's a few incidents that have happened during the weekend that we want to remark about, and not even over yet. There's the odd thing like broken fan belts and pantyhoses and stuff like that. I also have to say a special welcome to Anita. I did a little bit of work back in Toronto before we came, and I spent a lot of time and a great deal of effort and a lot of money. Don't laugh! I think there was something like 11 cents. And anyway, I made a little presentation to Ed. Will you come up and do this? It's a little trophy for hosting the golf tournament. Over here? Right Nobody else present tonight after I smoke its own tournament, which didn't happen. I'm going to pass this around and let everybody have a look at it. If it comes off tomorrow, I hope I can present it to somebody. There's an awful lot of work on that, a great expense. Now, I think that probably now is the time to express our appreciation to the Brown Hotel. And I see that the manager of the hotel is still back there in the kitchen working instead of being out listening. Eileen and Eb, on behalf of all the family, for all your little token appreciation, which Eileen has already sneaked a peek at. Tomorrow when you go out and sit in your gazebo, if you have time next week, enjoy the table that's sitting there from all of us.
For that, you can have free power.
If anybody now has any remarks, the floor is open. Finished all my episodes. Oh, just a minute, I'm sorry. Eb's got some golf trophies to present.
And ladies know it's Claire McNeil Brown with 52. But that's just incidental because the main prize is for the best foursome. And we just put a few rounds involved in that one, luckily. There's Phil, I guess, was the captain. Steve is the Brown. Don is the Brown. And Mark is kind of an associate member. If you come up another time, we'll present you with... We don't have identical prizes, so you just... I'm right here. Oh, yeah, Steve had the lowest of the course, and he should get the...
This will give you the opportunity to be the first in your area to be in vogue. Feel free to give our models your encouragement with cheers and applause. They need all the help they can get. Before I begin, I'll mention the apparel I have chosen to show you. My mini skirt, especially with the sports teams prominently displayed. And the great thing about it, when the day is over, you can use it to wrap the garbage or start your fire. Bill has complimented her dress with a pillbox hat and a 14-carat necklace. Carlene and Joanne chose summer dresses of seersucker to model. These dresses are quite popular with the underset and for those with a sweet tooth. Also, they are especially easy to care for. They need little persuasion to wear a dress when it comes to this style. Aren't these cute little suckers? Our next model is Although not living in Manitoba now, keeps up with our latest fashion. He is sporting the distinctive bell-bottom shorts. Topped off with a turtleneck shirt. He is ready for any occasion, especially at Christmas time when bells are popular or turtles are in command. Fashions come in various sizes and especially here for those musically inclined. Dale has been persuaded to wear the stylish box pleated skirt. An item that is easily fashioned with materials you might have around the house. To complement the skirt, he has chosen a t-shirt. With three-quarter sleeves. Three-quarter sleeves, Dale, three-quarter sleeves. There are some disadvantages to this number. It's not much fun to wear it out in the rain, and the skirt doesn't lend itself to sitting down. But you know, if you ever drop in for a visit, Dale will be sure to serve you a lovely cup of hot tea. Hot cats are making a comeback. Tricia is here to show you this new trend. Flashy and fun, yet very practical for those hunger pains. Those are hot rods for those of you from States. Her top is accented with puffed sleeves. Also good for still hungry. Thank you, Tricia. And finally, we have Frank. Modeling an elegant silk one-leg necklace. His fashion makes him available for any plumbing emergency. Note his Gucci loafers. Again available when those hunger pangs strike, if you're really desperate. And now for our finale, our we hope that we've helped you in planning your year-round wardrobe. Be sure to come to Manitoba for more up-to-date fashion ideas.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Lyle. I'm part of the California crew. And this is my son Dave, and this is my son Paul. And we're all from California. We're down here for a reunion.
And how's it going so far?
So far, it's wonderful.
David?
We're having a great time.
Paul?
travel downtown Gravelburg, this is an experience. Something we'll never forget.
Lot like California?
Yeah.
That's not here.
Incredibly similar. A little more lively. Yeah.
Great.
Look at this downtown action. Just pan across this panorama here. People going down the streets. It's wonderful. Perfect.
Terrific.
Good.
Good.
Thank you.
Hello, who are you? Hi, we're Julie and Mark and Matthew Normandin from San Jose, California. You've come a long way. We have.
It's worth it.
We have, yes.
It's worth it. Beautiful country up here. Yeah. Say hello to everybody. Say hello
Hi to everybody in Gravelburg, and hope we can do this again real soon. You having a good time? Great time.
Even Matthew.
Hi, this is Bliss.
Oh. Hi, I'm Marge Brown, and this is my friend Tom. What else are we supposed to say?
About the marriage plan.
Well, really, I hate to say this in front of the family, but I'm thinking dowry. Let's talk dowry. We're all here. What can you do?
I just picked him up for the weekend. This is really embarrassing.
Yes, it is. She didn't tell me about this. She didn't say there'd be a family here.
A nice camera. I don't know. I thought,
She was hitchhiking. I didn't understand.
Your window's closing, Marge.
Oh, good.
Bye.
When you carry out.
And I'm glad you're not getting my profile. I'm Doug, if you ever forget my face. Are we going to have an interview? Is that what we have to do?
Yeah, so how are you doing? Are you enjoying the reunion?
We're having a great time. I love the fashion show. I thought we should have brought it out to the streets.
Have you told us how you're brown?
How am I brown?
Yeah, who do you belong to?
Let me check the name. Oh, I'm sorry. We're supposed to go through the family tree, are we? Well, I'm the oldest of Marion Walters. Did we do well? Do we want to go through your family tree, too?
No, I don't think so. Not at this point.
Now you've got us for posterity.
Okay, you're on. Who are you?
Who are we? Quick, guys.
I'm Lee's wife, Claire.
We're the Browns.
Lee, your fly down. Brought me to it. I'm Steve.
What's your name?
Mike.
Who are you? And you are?
And you are?
Claire. And where are you from? Edmonton.
Home of the Oilers.
The home of champions.
Tornadoes.
And tornadoes.
Ex-champions. We don't only have champions in Edmonton. We still champions.
That's right. Are you having a good time? Yes.
Up until now we are. Right now we're just scared.
So what do you think of all your relatives, and especially you guys? You haven't seen anybody for a long time.
Well,
Don't know anybody.
I'm not going to mention about some of the relatives. Most of them are fairly nice. The outlaws are very nice.
I agree. You're having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to do this again when?
6 months?
Well, how about every 2 or 3 years?
Every 4.
4 years, okay. Every 4 years, that's on camera.
Then we'll have wives and things.
Oh, God, no. Not 4 years.
One question. What are you paying your cameraman there? He looks like he doesn't know.
That's a good question, yeah.
Here. Box, wasn't it?
Apparently.
That's a cardboard
Roast beef
camera.
and beer. Roast beef and beer.
Is this going to be on national television?
Yes, tonight on the National.
Tonight on the national?
Yeah.
Right.
11:30 in Newfoundland.
Is your name Barbara by any chance? I want to know why.
This is Mrs. Brown.
We're on here.
I can't blame them. They're probably a little embarrassed that we're here too.
You look a little different than you did a few minutes ago.
Is that right?
Are we better dressed now or
Oh, I thought you were kind of then. Yeah. So who are you?
Hey, well, my name's Frank Colbert, and this is my wife, Bill.
Brown?
Joe Brown, and we got married about 46 years ago. And my poor wife figures it's just about 100 years.
Yeah. So where were you in the scheme of things of the Browns?
I think I was the youngest. Don't laugh like that.
No, she was the third, weren't you?
I was the third, yeah.
Yes, she was the third. That's exactly right. And she's been a bit of a shed ever since.
Okay, we're on. And so here we are. It's the Simpson family from Roblin, Manitoba. And I'm Lynn, Phil's girl. And this is my husband, first of all, Dale.
Hey there, I'm Dale.
He's the cameraman who now is doing camera work. And Trisha, who is how old? They're all 11. 11 will be 12 this month. Yes. And your name, my dear?
Oh, catch him on third. Okay, let's go, Fish. Swing, that's the way to put it. Swing. Here? Okay, now on the big ones, try and injure their ankles as they run by.
All right, gotcha. Go!
Hey, go with the first. Oh, hey, 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 hey. No outs in this game. Matt, go ahead, Larry. All right. Everybody move in. No outs, no fair play. You can't even run the first base. Oh, yeah. Oh, Anybody got a glove? Extra glove? Which bat? Anyone you want. They're all using. And we have another whip, please. Who's the next batter? All right. You guys might want to move back a bit in the outfield there. The whole run queen coming up here now. Back to the greenery would be. Come on, Nick. Who knows how long it'll be?
Where was I?
Steve Brown and Rosemary Brown family number 2. Melanie, the medium one. Kimberly, the little one. Tony, the big one.
She's at work right now.
18, 8, 5, 45, 31.
And where do you live?
We live here, right in this house in Gravelburg. We've recently moved. We live in Gravelburg now. We're urbanites. We're sophisticated. We didn't used to be.
Downtown we are.
Yeah.
And what's that building back there?
That building back there is the sheltered workshop in town.
However, that building back there is Keith's shop.
Pardon me. See the one over there, Dale.
Got it.
And what have you been doing this weekend?
Chicken. We have just come back from a
Entertaining
very
people to the
refreshing
Wisma.
swim.
Drinking excessive amounts of alcohol
That was him.
and consuming heavy amounts of food stuff and swimming. In that order.
Melanie, what did you do? Did you?
What did you do this afternoon? What did we do?
I played golf.
And what did you do, Kimberly? Did you go swimming today? Did you? Huh? And what game are you going back to play right now?
Cards.
You're going to play cards, are you? Oh, good. Is the light still blinking?
The light's still blinking. Do you want us to say more?
We could be here for a while.
Tony's not here right now. She's
right.
working. She'll be here anytime.
And she has been part of our reunion, really. It's just unfortunate she couldn't be here right now. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No. Hi, gang.
Hi.
Hi, Mom.